Are we really connected, or is that just a myth? Hi, I'm Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind. Are we really connected, or is that just a myth? You know, most of the things I talk about here are considered unscientific. All the claims I make about the considerable power that you have within you are considered to be superstition and unscientific. I've had family members and associates love to tell me that they don't believe in what I teach, or they call it pseudoscience. When I hear the naysayers reject my teaching as just a lot of woo-woo, I find myself smiling inside. You see, I know that no matter what they say or what science declares is unprovable, the truth will eventually prevail. And the truth is that we are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence, we have powers and abilities beyond our physical bodies. We have mental powers and spiritual powers that defy the boundaries that those of rigid minds seek to force upon us. Yes, we are connected. We are all part of the greater whole, and we are not cut off from each other by the physical space between us. Please click on the thumbs up button below, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe using the logo on the lower left-hand corner. If you are watching on Facebook, then please choose like and choose to follow my broadcast. And if you would please use the chat box, which is on the right side of the screen, and let me know your thoughts, comments, suggestions, ideas, etc. If you're in Facebook, please use the chat box below the video. Okay, so I'd love to see what you're thinking. So my wife, a couple of days ago, sent me an article about a research study. And that research study for me was another piece of data confirming that what I teach you is the truth. The subject of that article was interbrain neural synchronization and its implications for the theories of human consciousness. Wow, that's a mouthful. It was published on the website for the Neuroscience of Consciousness. It was published by Ana Lucia Valencia on the faculty of the National Autonomous University of Mexico, and Professor Tom Froese of the Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology Graduate University. Wow, they got some titles. Now, I've taken an excerpt from that research study's abstract. Now, the abstract is a short summary of a research paper, usually about a paragraph long. And an abstract lets the readers get the gist or essence of the study or article quickly in order for them to decide whether they're going to read the full paper. So it's a summary. So the abstract for this research article says, a growing number of studies in social cognitive neuroscience reveal that phase synchronization similarly appears across brains during meaningful social interaction. Moreover, this interbrain synchronization has been associated with subjective reports of social connectiveness, engagement, and cooperativeness, as well as experiences of social cohesion and self-other merging. These findings challenge the standard view of human consciousness as essentially first-person singular and private. We therefore revisit the recent controversy over the possibility of extended consciousness and argue that evidence of interbrain synchronization in the fastest frequency bands overcomes the hitherto most convincing skeptical position. If this proposal is on the right track, our understanding of human consciousness would be profoundly transformed. Wow. So what these scientists are telling us is that when people are involved in projects where they work together to solve problems or join forces to complete complex tasks, the brains of those people who are working together move into a state where they become synchronized. Their brains actually begin to vibrate together, and they begin to function as one big brain instead of a bunch of little brains. One big brain. Ever get that feeling when you're working with others that you slip into a zone where everything is clicking and it's like you're on the same wavelength? Now, if you've worked on successful teams, I'm sure you've experienced that feeling at one point or another. I remember experiencing that feeling on stage during a play with other actors. Athletic teams. I bet athletic teams also experience that. It's when everybody is in sync and things are moving and the passes are going click, 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 and it's like they're not thinking, they're just one brain working together. Now that phenomena is not superstition, it is fact. That connectivity is not an old wives' tale. It has been demonstrated using the most sophisticated monitoring equipment on the planet. It is not just a fluke. It has been repeated and replicated time after time again. Because of the findings of this study, the research team of Ana Lucia Valencia of the National Autonomous University of Mexico and Professor Tom Froese of the Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology Graduate University are proposing that a task force be created to study the concept of what is called extended consciousness on a larger scale. Extended consciousness. Consciousness that extends beyond our individual bodies and encompasses those around us. When we are cooperating with each other, we become more than just individuals. We become a combined unit that achieves at a much higher level than we would accomplish alone. We, in essence, become a combined expression of infinite intelligence. Infinite intelligence. Now, infinite intelligence, cosmic consciousness, universal mind, it doesn't matter what you call it, but that has not only created us, but it actually is us. Consciousness is us. Consciousness is the basis of all matter. Consciousness is the basis of all existence. Science is moving beyond quantum physics and the outdated premise that matter is the basis of existence. Instead, science is moving and inching closer and closer to proving that consciousness is the basis of all existence. Everything comes from consciousness. And since consciousness is all there is, we live in a sea of consciousness that connects us. It connects us. If we can open our minds to it, consciousness feeds us with the answers to questions, solutions to problems, and it will provide us with the pathway to fulfilling our dreams. Consciousness is here for us. According to Dr. Michael Grosso, PhD, author of the book called Frontiers of the Soul, he said researchers have found from many types of studies that the less rigid one's mindset, the more likely it is that a paranormal force or idea will break into experience. The more unworldly our minds, the more detached from habitual patterns of response, the greater is our openness to the promptings from a higher reality principle, the more likely it is that extraordinary things will occur in our lives. You are spiritual warriors. You know now what many others do not know. Your mind is broken free of the confines of the prison of materialism. You have been introduced to the concept that you are a powerful being who is connected to all that exists because you are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. And once you've seen the truth, you cannot unsee it. Infinite intelligence loves us. Infinite intelligence gives us the power to grow and expand and to solve and to rise in consciousness. In the book of John, chapter 14, verse 12, Jesus the Christ tells us, "The works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do." And now we know most assuredly that you are not alone. We are surrounded by a vibrating electromagnetic field that intermingles with the electromagnetic fields of those around us. And when we work together, even our brains can synchronize so that together we can become a powerful, overwhelming instrument of love that can create miracles. Yes, miracles. Miracles. So yes, I'll admit, there are wars. But hey, together, we have the power within ourselves when we join together to prevent them once we learn how to tap into and connect with the infinite power of love within us. Yeah, there is poverty. I know there's poverty. But we have the power within ourselves when we join together to solve poverty. Once we learn how to go within and rise in consciousness to flow with the infinite power of love within us. Yes, there is disease, but we have the power within us when we join together to not only cure disease, but to prevent disease. Once we realize that disease is a product of fear, disease is a product of anger and unforgiveness that is generated within our minds. So that problem too can be solved once we learn how to join together and tap into and express the infinite power of love within us. Our consciousness is rising. Our consciousness is expanding. We are on the verge of coming into our own power as the divine children of infinite intelligence. We are growing into a greater understanding of our own beingness as individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. We are already in paradise, spiritual warriors. We're already there, but we're so hypnotized by our focus on the physical aspects. We're so focused on the material and the negativity in front of us that we can't see the heavenly glory that surrounds us. And as long as we concentrate on that ugliness that confronts us, as long as our minds remain rigid, we will remain blind to the beauty that is just beyond our vision, waiting for us to discover it. But you know what? Once we break free of the shackles of that rigid, fearful, conventional thinking and learn how to go within ourselves where we can tap into the infinite intelligence that resides deep in our hearts, the infinite love that resides deep in our hearts, then those scales are going to fall away from our eyes and reveal what was already there, the light that never left us. Just as the sun never goes away when the clouds cover the sky, that light has always been there, will always be there. And it is for us to see it. That's all. We just have to see it. Let's close with prayer. Thank you, Infinite Intelligence. Thank you for bringing all of us together in this life so that we may become spiritual warriors and joining the work we have come here to do. Thank you, Infinite Intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves in our relationship to life and infinite intelligence. Thank you for showing us who we really are. We open our minds and hearts to the truth of our being. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we're beginning to understand our value to the continuity of life on this planet. As we become channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives more and more. We know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we are now restoring our connection through the grace of forgiveness, knowing that as we learn to forgive ourselves for the pain that we have caused to ourselves, and as we learn to forgive those who have inflicted pain upon us, our connections will grow stronger, and our lives will grow happier and healthier and more prosperous. And for this, we are truly grateful. As above, so below. As within, so without. And so it is. Amen. Please click on the thumbs up button below, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're looking at this on Facebook, please click on the like button and choose to follow. And remember, you can leave your thoughts, comments, suggestions, ideas in the chat box underneath the video. I would love to hear from you. In the meantime, thank you. Thank you very much for spending time with me. I look forward to seeing you again next week. I am Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind.